about it is like, there ain't no God. He don't exist. Hey, where you going?
I'm gonna show you God does exist.
What you are about to hear is the truth. This is the first strike in the battle against evil. Fear itself shall die. How do I know it's true? Well, it's because I was there. I saw it all. Is this a meme? Is this a joke? Is this a piece of performance art? Well, why don't you watch and find the fuck out?
Hello? It is time to go to work. Who am I speaking with? You will be Mr. Ford. I am known as Mr. Adams, but you can call me John. Authorization 1797. Authorization confirmed. What's the job?
Sup, evil overlords? I love running my tests. It is so fascinating when you get the results that you basically knew you were going to get all along, but you're like, you know what? Any good scientist would consider the hypothesis that they're fucking nuts. Have you not watched The Big Bang Theory? You know, you can be a genius, but turns out that most geniuses are fucking nuts. So, you have to perform some experiments that allow you to dislodge one's head from one's anus. Thankfully, I have performed these experiments to such a degree that I have found that it was a very comfortable place to have one's head, so I have gone and reinserted it.
I'm probably the only one left who knows the truth. I know it because I was there.
Mr. Ford, deathmatch has been authorized.
About damn time.
We'll all be deeply involved. It must be unanimous.
Well, then I still want one question answered to my satisfaction. Why? Not a list of possible miracles, but a simple, basic, understandable why that overrides all danger. And let's not kid ourselves that there is no potential danger in this.
They used to say that if man were meant to fly, he'd have wings. But he did fly. He discovered he had to. I don't believe we can stop. In fact, through all our existence, the frightened and faint-hearted have been warning men not to push any further, not to learn any more, not to hope, grow, and exceed themselves. I don't believe we can stop. I don't believe we're meant to. Do you wish the first Apollo mission hadn't reached the moon? Or we hadn't gone on to Mars and then to the nearest star? That's like saying you wish that you still operated with scalpels and sewed your patients up with catgut like your great-great-great-great-grandfather used to. I'm in command. I could order this, but I'm not. Because Dr. McCoy is right in pointing out the enormous danger potential in any contact with life and intelligence as fantastically advanced as this. But I must point out that the possibilities, the potential for knowledge and advancement is equally great. Risk is our business. That's what the Starship is all about. That's why we're aboard her. You may dissent without prejudice. Do I hear a negative vote?
Now, the internet is clearly being censored. Whether it is in a total and complete capacity, I am unsure, but for the most part, it does appear to be total and complete, because I have been a total and complete jackass throughout the internet, and it just is not nearly as fun as it was, about a decade ago, when the internet actually functioned like the internet had been for all of, my 90s babies, 80s babies' lives, If you were born post-2010, you don't really understand what the internet truly was, or in fact what it was like to communicate with people on shit like Xbox Live or things of that nature. Us old-timers have to remind you that people were creative as all fuck. I mean, don't get me wrong, some of that shit stung like a motherfucker. But they were at least creative about it, and it was at least like the zingers from a good sitcom, again, the shit stung, it seemed cruel as fuck, but have you gone back and watched some sitcoms? Some of the friends in those shows can appear kind of cruel to the friends in those shows, so if it was at least funny and it amused you, sometimes you'd hang around those cruel sons of bitches just because they were funny and they amused you. But now, all people seem to do is to, pick, or not even people, that's not correct. All it seems that the bots are doing online is to simply pick a very specific point and to try to hammer it home with such a degree that it causes mental instability, insanity, suicidal tendencies, the whole shebang. Somewhere the evil overlords are going, oh my fucking god, he's finally understanding it! Shit, we're fucked! Yes, you are. Let me continue now, you little bitch. In any case, it is very thrilling to interact with these bots online, especially 4chan. Because if you make a post that seems like you don't quite have it all together, like you're not as smart as you could be, or maybe you're mentally weak, they'll dogpile on you with schizo this, schizo that, take your pills, any of those kind of basic bitch insults that really are just hilarious when you really think about it. It's like, how do they know that you think you're crazy? But does a crazy person really go and try to investigate their insanity? No, they just continue on because they're fucking nuts. That's like everybody who's just ignoring all of the implications with everything going on. And again, I'm pretty sure the internet is totally and completely censored, but just for posterity's sake, just for history's sake, we can talk in a manner that expresses not just the hope, but the knowledge that there will be an audience other than these evil fucking overlords at one point eventually watching and listening to this video. So no, I'm not just jerking myself off. Although, even if I was, why the fuck wouldn't I continue to do so? Jerking off feels rather good, and if you do it enough times, you end up just not being able to go out, shoot, or kill anybody. It's a start. It's a start when we are all under attack by an evil, invasive force known as fear, that little bitch itch. I have done the experimentation, and the experimentation is essentially as follows. I took my dick out and waved it at the forces of evil and wanted to see what happened. To put that into scientific terms, although I think they were already pretty scientific as it was, there's this idea that floats through Christian and religious communities. And those ideas are that, if you don't believe in the devil, and I find it very fascinating that people are quick to just throw Jesus under the bus for horrible things that happened. Oh, it was God's plan. You don't think the devil was fucking God's plan up? Just curious. Because There are people who say, if you don't believe in the devil, challenge him and see what the fuck happens. Well, that's what I did. And I have to say, it was a wild fucking ride. Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, quite indeed. You will find that supernatural, weird, hooky-pooky, oogus-boogus type shit just starts fucking happening. You know, or you just get sick for no reason. You know, there are so many different kinds of shit. The real fun stuff is when they start making you feel like you're so weak and like you're dying. You feel like you might die any second, and it's just, when you come out of that, all I have to say is there's just a quote by Marilyn Manson that, I'm just, you know, affixing that it is a quote by him. You can take or leave what you think of the man. But, you know, once you've inhaled death, everything else is just perfume. And that's really the truth that I've discovered, because I don't look at it like, hey, challenge the devil. It's like, hey, challenge fear. And then realize that fear is a living organism that fights the fuck back. And that is really interesting. Most people who start doing this quickly want to either go to a hospital or a mental ward, because it makes you feel like you're fucking crazy, because we are not prepared for that level of shit. Nah, I wasn't, but needless to say, it proved all of my theories true. When I put that together with everything else that had been going on with the aliens, with people's irrational behaviors, with the lack of an actual access to a functioning internet that, you know, had forum. I mean, literally, when all of this shit started going down in 2016, all of the message boards and forums just started getting closed down and censored, and that was the beginning. And then, you know, there was the great Twitter purge, and even with everything, you know, kind of coming back online, or so it appears right now, it's truly obvious that when all of that shit was going down, they were taking things down left and right and implementing measures of censorship so that they could get to that totalitarian, total overlord control point, because everything just spreads like wildfire, or did spread like wildfire in a very natural, organic way on the old internet. It doesn't work that way anymore. The new internet is boring and just fucking unimaginative. It's also dead. It's not alive anymore. Why was the internet alive? We made it alive. It's populated by bots now. Currently, as of this video is being recorded on June 14th, 2023.
In his nightmares, he can see them. In his mind, he can hear them.
Locutus.
In his soul, he can feel them.
I've just received a report from Deep Space 5. Long-range sensors have picked up...
Yes, I know. The Borg. Set a course for Earth. Maximum warp.
Now, in Earth's darkest hour, he must fight them again.
Captain, Earth.
Life signs? Population approximately 9 billion. All Borg.
How?
Time travel.
They went back and assimilated Earth. Changed history. I must follow them back. Repair whatever damage they've done.
But this time, they must travel to the past
April 4th, 2063.
to save our future.
You're all astronauts on some kind of Star Trek.
They invade our space, and we fall back. They assimilate entire worlds, and we fall back. Not again. The line must be drawn here.
It looks like the control deck's 26 up to 11.
Mr. Data and I are returning to the ship. Don't let them touch you! Captain! Data!
We must activate the auto-destruct sequence.
You want to destroy the ship and run away? You coward.
If you were any other man, I would kill you where you stand. Let's rock and roll!
Destroy them. Watch your futures end.
We've lost shields and our weapons are gone.
Resistance is futile. Perhaps today is a good day to die.
John, look, blow up the damn ship!
No! We are not going to lose the Enterprise. Not to the Borg, not while I'm in command.
Star Trek First Contact.
So we are under attack by an invasive living organism. It is, how shall I say, ethereal in a way, because it is floating in thin air. And remember, folks, just because you can't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Can you see Wi-Fi? Can you see the invisible tethers between your wireless controller and your game console? We already have shit that floats throughout the air that we're not sort of aware of, but we're aware of, and it, like, you know. We accept the explanations that we're given instead of just looking at all of the shit that we have. Like, you know, how do you transmit video through electrical signals? That's fucking impressive as all shit. That's miraculous. That's kind of like an alien technology. I mean, even when you go back to the old tubular TV system, just like, you start looking at it, and if you just like approach it with an engineer and a scientific mind, but you just forget everything that, you know, is true about the universe that you live in, and just kind of try to go like, how the fuck, why would that really work that way? Like, there really isn't much logic to how any shit in the scientific realm works. Like, it's fucking technological wizardry, to say the least. I'm not trying to say that it's magic, but I'm also not saying it's not magic, because it's very interesting and fascinating. And energy signals going through things, pixels creating pictures, and I mean, just for a second, look at your devices, look at the things around you like you're a time traveler from the 19th century. And you know, try not to flip a bitch like a time traveler might, because, you know, holy shit, there's a lot of things, it's overwhelming. But try to look at it with that kind of fascination, that kind of wonder and awe, and then that kind of curiosity that would follow. Trying to understand everything from technology to your own feelings and emotions is a wild ride. To understand that there's this weird thing inside of us that when we look at something, we know if it feels right, and you know what I'm talking about. You know, this is how us 80s, 90s babies used to browse through Netflix, or not Netflix, my bad, Blockbuster. This is how we used to walk through the aisles of Blockbuster. We would look at things, and, you know, if there was a cover art, you know, it would just, like, it was like lightning. It just was seeking us, like lightning seeks the ground. To quote Dodge from Picard, just fucking great show. Has a wonderful scene for those of us who are going through these experiences. It's like, I've researched this, I think I might be schizophrenic, and trust Picard when he reminds us, no, we're not crazy, and we actually are very, very fucking special, because quantum mechanics and the laws of attraction show that there is tangible scientific evidence to the ideas of wishes, essentially. Because with focused, conscious concentration, in other words, if you focus on the same mental idea for a long period of time with the right kind of positive energy, which can either be directly feeling happy about the idea, like you're building a Christmas list, or it can even be this kind of idea of manifesting something that allows you to truly be careless in your life, instead of being so worried about everything that you can be a reckless Star Trek level captain like Kirk or Archer. I'm not saying to be careless in the way that is abusive to other people or acting like you don't care about outcomes or, again, the lives of others. It just, to me, it's something that I've always, you know, cared about in that way, that I feel that it brings unity and familyhood. Brotherhood seems a little, you know, gender specific, so familyhood I also think is a better term, because I always like to think of family as Ohana, and Ohana means family, and what that should mean to all of us because of Lilo and Stitch, obviously, is that family means you're never left behind or forgotten. And it's a really amazing rule to realize that once you find that group of people, and in a functional society that isn't controlled by some evil societal mechanism at some top elite level within politics, government, and entertainment, along with news media, people, especially when you go to certain kinds of conventions and you really see them uniting over the love of common things, the things that they have in common, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. That's why I, once upon a time, started reviewing games on YouTube back in the day. Because I understood that if there was a game that got a really shitty review by all of the official sources, but I had the time of my life with it and thought it was the most fun thing I'd ever played, that obviously something was a little askew. Because how could all of these people act like this game was just trash when I fucking loved it? Maybe it wasn't perfect, but, you know, it just hit the notes for what was enjoyable for me. And so I started making reviews out of that nature of, well, if I enjoy this, then surely somebody else must. So just wanting to provide what should be clearly balanced, that, you know, if we're all experiencing life and going through it in a way that defines us personally because of different experiences and choices, then things should be subjective, like opinions on art and entertainment. But it's very fascinating that clearly there is this strange kind of, in a world of almost complete disagreements, it's like, hang on, why do the critics all start agreeing on shit all of a sudden? It kind of makes us believe that, well, if all of these people agree, then it must be true. But that's kind of the entire interesting experiment about living that I've performed, is that there are so many things that we're being told because of this or that reason that are true, and you can actually experiment with it and go, hang on, not true. If you say this movie is bad empirically, well, if I can find enjoyment out of it, and if I actually really enjoy it, then that's clearly wrong. And for there to be this blanket statement just to empirically state that something is just trash or bad, why would there be such judgment for those things? How could people even agree in that manner? It's a little too orchestrated. Because how can you have these things that are considered equivocally bad, but there are tons of people that can find joy in them? It's a little troubling. How can you consider anxiety or mental disorders, mental health matters, when, through my experience, fear is a strange, malevolent, force that is clearly working to oppress us? I'm sure that the argument could be made that human beings can be savages, animalistic, or monsters, but, well, humans really haven't had much time to actually work on their inner evolution, so that's an unfair statement. We've had piss-poor leadership, and yes, there are great examples of role modelship through things like Star Trek, Star Wars, and Harry Potter, all kinds of entertainment, geek media, you know. There are great examples of role modelship and of what we can and should do, and of realistic things that can be brought from those universes to ours. But when people are stuck in a struggle-filled, masochistically difficulty-set survival simulation, well, they're not really going to have much time to rejoice and to find the inner light and the inner peace. They're going to do the absolute best that they can. They are going to make mistakes because we are all imperfect. And it's really because there is no such thing as pure perfection, because perfection is an idea and an ideal, and we would all have different ideas of what perfect is.
I've been held back my whole life. And now, I just need a chance to finally be free. Wherever that takes me.
I'm here to offer you a way out, okay?
Get off my ship, Jalen.
Give me a chance. You're gonna have to trust me. It'll be dangerous, risky. But if you pull this off, you'll never look over your shoulder again.
The underworld shows no mercy. But it's a big galaxy out there, and I'm gonna risk it all.
Star Wars Outlaws, coming 2024.
So in many ways, every single thing that we're taught is simply there to hold us back. It's not there to help us find enlightenment or even provide us with tools to make this struggle-filled survival simulation more bearable or to prepare us better for it. And literally, when there are so many patterns throughout history that repeat, the fact that those who are supposed to be of extreme intelligence, who are supposed to be leading us in researching and doing things for society's betterment, for world betterment, for all of that good shit. And it's like, if we can all see those patterns and they haven't figured out how to take advantage of those to better society, but in fact, everything that we see from news media to politics and its clear intentions on pitting us against one another seems like they're trying to do exactly the opposite. They're not trying to unite us through commonalities. They're not trying to get us to find things that we have in common and to realize that, we don't have to be the same, but on the same level, it's so fascinating that we can each be so individually different, but we can also share so many structured experiences. What I mean by that is just for all of us in a certain group to enjoy something in the same way, that's incredible. For us all to share that same one singular experience, and for us all to be our different, unique, individual selves at the same time, that's magic. That's wonder of life. And we don't get to focus on those things. We don't get constantly reminded that life expectancy has done nothing but increase throughout history, that even though the world around us looks kind of crummy, that it is getting better slowly. However, it is very strange that it is obvious that when you look around that there are clearly forces at work that are trying to throw monkey wrenches into the cogs of progress, of evolution, of societal betterment. Strange. When we have proof of technologically advanced life forms that are keeping an eye on us, at the very least. And again, when you perform the experiments with fear and realize that it is a living organism that is attempting to control us and hold us back, it's, I will say, a little frightening, but I will say that with a smile on my face in the way that roller coasters can be frightening. But they're fun in that scary way. Once you get past that fear in a certain way and you start to enjoy it in a strange way, it becomes a thrill. No longer a fear, but a thrill. And that's what we're truly seeking, because that is how we completely erase fear. Because fear sucks. Fear keeps us from doing things. It holds us back. But thrills make us love doing things. It makes us love embracing things. And yes, we need to have some willpower and control and common sense before we do completely stupid things to seek those thrills. But it's quite impressive when we learn that controlling our emotions can be a thrill if we think that we're not under control. What is it that you can go through a complete mental breakdown and come out on the other side saner for it? That's strange. If I did go crazy, what happened is that I found some strange narrative framework that I clung to, and yet by completely embracing it, it's brought me to a level of sanity. Strange. Well, what is that narrative framework? Well, that I have been chosen to save humanity because I face fear on a daily basis, and I'm getting very good at conquering that bitch. And we're playing a game with these incredible extraterrestrial sources that are loving and that would make up what I would consider to be the laws of attraction and quantum manifestation, because they're like guardian angels that have helped me, that are there for me at all times, and that help me through situations and have helped me make better choices to better myself. And so that not only am I better at functioning at different tasks and doing different things, but just so that I have an actual sense of calm, of peace, that I feel serene bliss more than I feel horrible, that I understand how to control emotions in a way that I never did. And it's like my narrative framework over here is going, I know that I had forces that helped me, because the one thing that I can say is when you really cannot love and appreciate yourself and something else has to come and really just smack the shit out of you and go, you're awesome, and here's why. And I don't mean to say that in any of this like a huge boast to go, oh my God, I'm the most awesome thing ever. Because I believe we all have it in us, and as I say, we just haven't been educated to evolve, and most of us haven't had the time. I was given a gift by my father when he passed away, that he left me an inheritance, and that allowed me to have the money so that I didn't have to fall victim to wasting my time and my energies and my mental efforts on anything else. I could solely focus on my own betterment. And that was the thing that I approached all of the issues that I faced, that they were something I could conquer and that I could control. And I've learned that that's absolutely true. And so for there not to be an actual movement within any kind of psychiatry or psychology to really embrace this kind of Vulcan level of emotional control, or to use ideas like the Force and Jedi teachings, because that's essentially what I put my mind through as well when I started believing these things. I started thinking, how do these characters that mean the world to me, how do they deal with these situations and scenarios? The things that are the most realistic in those worlds, like the diplomacy and the compassion from Starfleet. I realized that, and the psychological approach to a lot of issues that different characters faced on that show could be easily applied to my issues and situations, and so that's what I did. And then it just continued on where I would look at things and I go, why does this feel right? And I began truly communicating with my top-tier guardian angel, whom, by all accounts, because yes, it is a narrative framework that I have affixed to my life, but the problem is that my narrative framework also crosses over into reality. Because my birth name is Russell, and when you have actual UFOs flying over the USS Russell, when you think that you're communicating with aliens, and you see that broadcasted on the news, And you can look it up. Just look at USS Russell, UFOs. I don't even want to show the clip here because it's cooler for you in your time to be able to see that clip and go, whoo. Or if for some reason this clip can somehow magically get through. Because I still believe that my guardian angels at some point might be able to break through those walls of censorship and find a way to get these videos out.
Charlie, what are you doing this for?
I'm helping these kids. Nobody else is helping them.
Well, thanks for listening, Charlie Bartlett.
There's more to high school than being well-liked.
Like what specifically?
Nothing comes to mind.
They're headed east on 72nd towards the park.
But Wall Street is south. Man, stop yelling at me. I got a bad headache. And the best way south is not 9th Avenue. It's through the park. Oh, dear. I told you the park drive is always jammed. I didn't say Park Drive. I said through the park.
Shit! We lost them. In the park headed south.
And it's always good to give evil shit to chase as well. Because even if we can't get those videos out, you know, just by the nature of them being prepared for us to try, evil really has no clue what the fuck we're doing. And that is where we want evil to be. Because I can tell you this, that when my spirit teacher, guardian, is like saying, hey, I'm here, hey, I'm there, and I'm like, okay, so why is my face drawn here and why is it there? And it's like, all right, let's just go with it. Let's embrace the crazy. Let's realize that we all have sparks of madness and that it actually makes us who we are. And as long as that we embrace it in a safe and controlled manner, that means that we're not going to kill or harm anybody based on this shit. It's cool. And yeah, the only thing that I would kill or harm is the evil controlling force that's out there, because through all of my scientific experiments and experiences, this force of evil and fear, that is what evil is fear. It's not good. It does not serve a purpose. And if it wanted to actually truly better society, it would be working with and not against me. My whole point of that especially is it's like, well, once you've truly conquered fear and you know its little tricks, it's like, I love it when little things like that happen in life. Synchronicities are awesome. But once you've learned their tricks, essentially, it should fuck off. Because it should be like, yep, I've done my thing. I've made a man out of this little boy. But that's not how it works. It just gets more pissy and more moany. And, you know, you stand there like Captain America realizing that you can do it all day, but it's still coming after you and you're still coming after it. It's like you're playing chicken together. You both have began chasing each other. Chasing fear and challenging fear is a very interesting but potentially dangerous pastime. We have, and that's why at the beginning of this video you saw that news report again that showed that the whistleblower who was telling us that the government has been hiding extraterrestrial craft and capturing it, and along with potential extraterrestrials, both dead and alive, that both extraterrestrials of a malevolent nature have killed human beings, and that also the government will kill people to keep these things secret. This is not Star Trek Prime Directive level shit, because most of us are aware that there's something else out there. This is the time when they should and would initiate first contact, especially when there are so many people who are literally losing their minds because they just can't believe it, but they know it. And that is a hell to be trapped in that you can see me go through on this channel. And so that's why I love putting this out there that shows fear and those evil powers that, yeah, I figured this shit out, that I'm approaching it with sane, rational logic and common sense, that I'm enjoying myself, and that it truly has reignited the faith and the hope in me that I know that there is a better tomorrow coming, and that I can truly dream as big as I want, because the sky is now the limit. there's enough around us to go, all right, our imaginations are being utilized against us. There is a surprising amount of evidence that ailments don't really exist, and it's just our imaginations that are manifesting those things. Just like if you try to manifest good things, it'll happen. Well, other things can manifest if you're believing in it too strongly. And those things are truly, as Spock would say, fascinating.
Don't look down, cause it's easy you're falling from force. Just letting it take nature's course and picking it up when it's over. Don't be afraid, cause the chances are there for the take. But treasure the choices you make and know when you must take it slow. To give more than take, 'cause sharing yourself brings you closer. You may think you had it rough and try to give it up, but when you think you start, just go another way. Don't let go of good times and let the bad ones know you feel fine. And wear your heart out on your sleeve. Love is all you need. Feel with all your senses. Make sure to let down your defenses. It's just one way to make you see. Love is all you need. Take a chance now, 'cause it's easy. Take a chance now for you and me. Take a chance now, you can reach it. Take a chance with me. Don't let go of good times and let the bad ones know you feel fun. But wear your heart out on your sleeve. Love is all you need. Feel with all your senses. Make sure to let down your defenses. It's just one way to make you see. Love is all you need. Oh, it's all you need. Love is all you need.
And it is the thing that, yes, I do not have all, I can't sit here and give you exact names, dates, and complete factual answers, but I can tell you the gist and I can tell you the truth of what I've experienced using simple, common language to try to express the nature of our reality and the importance of what is going on what we call planet Earth at this time on June 14th, 2023, 5:13 p.m. And I am here to tell you that everything I've gone through and been through has been an incredible, wild ride. And sitting here essentially knowing that fear, aka the Grim Reaper, or whatever these things want to see themselves as, Dementors, what have you, are trying to tap on my shoulder, and I just keep looking back at it like, can't you see I'm busy? I'm working here, my friend. I'll play with you in a minute. Hang on. Let me just set my phaser over here to disrupt your field. And here's the really fascinating thing. When you understand the powers of laws of attraction, quantum mechanics, imagination, and manifestation, you realize you actually can hurt these things with imaginary weapons. Lovely, lovely. That made them fuck off. And again, why does that actually make me feel better? It shouldn't. That would mean you're crazy. No, that actually means that my shit's real. Because I've gone through too many different experimental phases to rule out insanity. As Sheldon once said, my mother had me tested. I am not crazy. I don't know why I did it in the Texan accent, since Sheldon himself doesn't speak with the Texan accent, but it worked and it was fun. And I enjoyed it. And I hope you did too. It was good for me. Was it for you? In any case, I do hope this transmission reaches you and that you are well. If you are one of those wonderful members of my Ohana, and I consider any person, any being, physical, ethereal, otherwise, that has simply the desire to live, let live, and party hardy all night long, yo. The best, you know. I wish you the best, and if you are in peril, if you are suffering, I will do everything within my power to kick the forces of evil's asses, so that hopefully it might lessen their anxiety-ridden, Dementor-like attacks on my fellow human beings and potentially other beings as well. Although I would like to consider any being that has humanity a human being from this point forward. Just I think it's a cool thing that we should do, knowing that we're going to have other beings in our, you know, vocabulary and existence. And I think that we should pretty much just define humanity and human beings as beings who have love within their heart. So if you've got love within your heart and you want the best for yourself and for others, bam, I love you. But if you're one of these sniveling little shits who wants to oppress, cause harm for their own pleasure, and non-consensually, I might add, if it is a consensual, loving relationship between two parties who want to participate in that sadomasochistic kind of lifestyle, go with God, my child. But if you're doing it non-consensually and through the art of manipulation, deception, and illusions, go fucketh thyself. I am chasing you down spiritually as we speak.
It's changing out there. There's a storm coming, Harry. Just like last time.
The Ministry of Magic is pleased to announce the appointment of Dolores Jane Umbridge as High Inquisitor to address the falling standards at Hogwarts School.
Things at Hogwarts are far worse than I feared. Enough! You have been told that a certain dark wizard is at large. This is a lie.
It's not a lie. I saw it.
We've got to be able to defend ourselves. And if Umbridge refuses to teach us how, we need someone who will.
Every great wizard in history has started out as nothing more than what we are now. If they can do it, why not us?
Sort of exciting, isn't it? Stupefied! Breaking the rules.
Who are you and what have you done with Hermione Granger?
You're a really good teacher, Harry.
The Ministry's gonna have a full uprising on their hands.
It's your turn now.
Discipline your mind.
We're in this together.
If Voldemort's building up an army, then I want to fight.
Harry Potter, you will lose everything.
And believe you me, to turn the tables on Fear and to be the one chasing that motherfucker down, well, there's only one way to truly describe what it feels like. And on that note, we have a clip to show you. And I will say, live long and prosper. My Ohana. I love you all. May the forces of evil get their asses killed on the way to your location.
Bitch gotta bring that shit over here. Okay, well maybe she won't see me.
Somebody help me! Brenda!
Oh shit! She stole me! Thank you, okay, now let that shit just mutilate her white ass and leave. Bitch, please die.
Oh my god, Brenda! We're gonna die!
It would have just been you if you would have just shut the fuck up!
Someone's coming!
Cindy! This is a skeleton, this is bones! Would you run from Callista Flockhart? Shut your ass up! Look, he's crazy now. I'm sorry, Miss Skeleton. Here. Gotcha! Sight! Have a nice trip! Hey, girl, I got an idea. Come on.
Very funny.
Now get on out of here!
Somebody gonna catch your ass whooping when I come back.
Oh, Brenda, you are so brave.
You know, you really are my best friend, Cindy.
You guys okay?
Ooh, yeah. This ain't more than a little bag of bones to scare me.
Reggie.
The ghost house, buddy! Brenda, do something! Okay! I thought I was your best friend!
What? I'm gonna miss you, girl!
Grab my gun!
I heard you're in line to be a ranger yourself one of these days.
Nah, that's impossible.
Hey, anything's possible.
You really think so?
I know so.
Fred Kelman, the Silver Ranger.
It does have a certain ring to it.
Fred Kelman, the Gold Ranger.